Welcome to Bobby Does Recaps. This is The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 1. The Walking Dead wrapped up after 11 seasons, years of our lives, countless walker kills, questionable haircuts, and more fake-out deaths than a soap opera. So, AMC looks at Maggie and Negan, two characters who spent half a decade in an exhausting will she or won't she kill him standoff, and says, you know what? Manhattan. And honestly, it kind of works. Quick context before we dive in. It's been 5 years since we last saw our main characters. Negan, the guy who bashed in Glenn's skull with a barbed wire bat named Lucille while doing a full theatrical monologue, has somehow turned into a semi-functional, almost decent human being. He's got a wife and son that he's sent to Missouri to keep safe, because he's on the run from the New Babylon Federation for taking out 5 men who had robbed, beaten, and violated his wife. So technically a fugitive, contextually, many would say justified. Maggie, meanwhile, is running a survivor community in New York called The Bricks. It's the old hilltop colony relocated. She's raising her son Hershel, and life's hard but manageable. Manageable is about to go nuclear. Our story kicks off with Hershel's disappearance. Not a walker attack, not an accident, taken, kidnapped right out of the life Maggie has spent years trying to build. Glenn's kid, her entire world, gone. The guy responsible? The Croat. Real name? Mile Jerkovic. Croatian, hence the nickname. Former savior, one of Negan's original crew. This guy is so deeply unhinged that even Negan, at his absolute worst, had to cut him loose. The Croat murdered a young girl during an interrogation. Negan tried to kill him for it, only managed to blow off the Croat's right ear. And in the confusion, he escaped. One ear, but still full psycho. Now, he's running Manhattan with his gang, the Barazzi, using Madison Square Garden as his personal throne room. It's basically a twisted, low-budget remix of everything Negan built with the Saviors. Same vibes, worse hygiene, and fewer leather jackets. So Maggie goes to find Negan, which for Maggie ranks somewhere between root canal and rewatching the Glenn tape on loop. But the Croat is a former savior. Negan is her only leverage. She swallows her pride and makes a deal. In exchange for Negan's help, Maggie will give a home at the Bricks to Ginny, a young, selectively mute girl who's been staying with Negan. Ginny stopped speaking after the traumatic death of her father. She's small, she's quiet, and she's apparently the emotional backbone of this entire show. Negan agrees. They head to Manhattan. Ginny is supposed to stay at the Bricks. Instead, she steals a motorcycle and follows them. She's 11 and either fearless or dumb. Either way, I kind of like her. Also following them, Pearlie Armstrong, New Babylon's lead marshal. So obsessed with catching Negan that he accidentally kills his own junior marshal, Jano, during his first attempt to capture Negan. Rough start there, Pearlie. In the city, they link up with the tribespeople, a ragged band of survivors who've been dodging the Barazzi for months. They know the Croats' routes through the old Penn Station subway tunnels, and they're willing to trade that knowledge for protection. So the plan is simple. Hit Madison Square Garden, grab Hershel, take out the Croat, clean and easy. Yeah, about that. The Croat is ready and waiting. He evacuates his people, floods the arena with walkers, and uses the sound and light systems to basically DJ the dead directly into the tribespeople. It's a massacre. Amaya and Tommaso, two of the survivors who helped them get there, escape into the sewers with Maggie and Ginny, who just caught up to him, by the way. Negan gets his face-to-face with the Croat, who greets him like they're old college buddies catching up. I guess there's no hard feelings on his end. The Croat tries to take out Pearlie as a welcome gift, but Negan saves Pearlie's life. And after they escape, Pearlie immediately holds Negan at gunpoint. So much for quid pro quo. However, after some bro time, they do eventually work together. Meanwhile, in the sewers, the truth comes out. Tommaso sold them out. He made a deal with the Croat for a boat and a fresh start on the mainland. He traded his tribe, his family, for a boat to take him to more walkers and fewer friends now. Not a great plan, Tommaso. It was all for nothing. He and Amaya both don't make it out of the sewers. On their way out, Maggie fights a massive fused-together walker. Multiple zombies merged into one giant, horrifying super walker. And wins. Because if you haven't been paying attention, she's a 120-pound Rambo. After they emerge from the sewers, Ginny fires a flare, Negan sees it, and the crew meets back up. Then comes the gut punch. Negan figures it out. Maggie's plan was never a rescue mission with him as backup. She was going to trade him, hand him over to the Croat, get Hershel back. That was always the deal. And Negan, deep in his redemption arc, apparently getting extra credit for emotional punishment, decides not to fight it. But wait, Ginny. Negan needed her to be safe, so he told her the truth. Her father was one of the 5 men he killed, one of the men who hurt his wife. He didn't take Ginny in out of love, not at first. It was guilt for a debt he could never fully pay. Ginny was gutted and left with Perlee. So now Negan's a prisoner of the Croat, and it looks like Maggie is actually regretting her decision. But in the end, Negan goes with the Croat willingly. Maggie leaves with Hershel, she has her son back, and for about 30 seconds, season 1 looks like it's wrapping up. But back in Manhattan, the Dama steps out of the shadows. She's calm, completely unsettlingly calm. No panic, no anger, just creepy cat lady vibes. She's the real power in Manhattan. The Croat isn't the boss. He's the attack dog. She's the architect. She's been watching the entire time because she needs Negan, someone who can actually lead, someone who has built a following and knows how to actually make people fear him while still inspiring loyalty. She makes him an offer. And that's where The Walking Dead Dead City Season 1 comes to an end. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to recapping another show for you very soon.